Good day and welcome back, students. Today we will discuss input and control statements. So the first thing that we will be learning is about the digital read statement. So this is used to read the state of a pin or of an Arduino pin. The syntax for that is digital read pin. An example for that is digital read 5. Or if you have discussed example in LED is equal to 3, then you can actually say this digital read LED. Why? You can actually use this one because you have initialized that the LED has a value of 3. So this is actually a good programming because you are using a variable, not a constant variable 3, just like this. We will be learning how to make use of this later on because you cannot make use of this digital read by itself. You have to make use of a so-called control statement so that you will be able to analyze and determine what is the impact of digital read in your Arduino programming. The control statements are actually used to determine if a particular statement or action is to be performed or not. Meaning, it is used to allow the device to decide whether to start or stop the execution of an action based on a condition. Now, look at this. Based on a condition. Meaning, you will have to determine what makes it run or what makes it stop. You have to have this so-called condition, whether it will turn on or turn off. Just like our push buttons a while back, just like our push button here, it only turns on if you push our push button. That's the condition. It doesn't mean that if you push this, it turns this on. But doesn't mean that if you do not push this, it will just turn on itself. So that is the condition of this LED to turn on. You have to push this push button here or this switch so that our LED will light. The control statements, we have actually two initializes for that. Your single condition, we have your equal to, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. You have to remember that the not equal to is an exclamation point and an equal sign. The same concept here, if we play this, if our push button equal to on or our push button is pushed, then it will light. We will have much more discussion on this as we go on our discussion and on our future lessons. But as of the moment, we also have your different control statements. This is actually used for multiple conditions, and you have your statement and or statement. Now, what does this indicate? We have your condition 1, condition 2, and result. As an example, let's say if let's say lead is less than 5 and lead is less than 5 and greater than 2, then it will result to depending on the value of lead. Assuming our lead is equal to 3. Is 3 less than 5? That is true, right? And 3 is greater than 2. Is 3 greater than 2? That is true. If we look at it, true and true, the first condition is true, the second condition is true, therefore the output is true. That is the result of our two conditions. This means that you are actually evaluating two conditions at a time. If this is 1, lead is equal to 1, then 3, this is already 1, right? This is already 1, and this is already 1. 1 is less than 5, that is true, but 1 is not greater than 2, therefore that is false. If that is false, then true and false result to false. The same concept with our OR statement. You have to follow these conditions in order to have a result. Now, the question now is, what about if you have, like I said, it is for multiple conditions? How about if you have 4? How about if you have 5 conditions or even 10 conditions? How is that? Now, the shortcut for this one is that for the AND statement, you only have true output if all the conditions, all of the conditions are true. If all of the conditions are true, then you will have a result of true. Otherwise, you will have always false as an output. For the OR statements, if all conditions are actually false, all conditions are false. Just you look at this one, if the condition 1 is false, the condition 2 is false, then the result is false. But however, if you have one true, as long as there is one true, your output will always be true. Hello? The if statement. The condition, the syntax is if the condition, then you have your statement and you have your open and close brackets, curly brackets. Remember, this is important. And take note, the statements inside our if conditions will always contain semicolons. However, the condition itself, the if statement, does not have a semicolon after the curly brackets. Look at this. Example, if digitalRead 10 is equal to high, then digitalWrite 13 high. Then close curly bracket. Now with this example, we return to our digitalRead a while back. Now, we are now actually assessing the condition of our digitalRead. Now, as you can see here, we are now actually reading the state of the pin 10. The state of the pin 10 is whether it is high or low. The high indicates that it is connected to VCC or 5 volts. And the low is connected to ground or 0 volts. That is what it means for the output for the digitalRead. And you are now actually comparing whether it is high or low. If you remember what we have learned in the switches, you have your normally high, and you have your normally low switch. So if you have your normally high switch, meaning this is connected to 5 volts. The pin is connected to 5 volts and normally low is connected to the 0 volts or 0 volt or your ground. So if this is pushed, then it will go low. But if it is not pushed, then it is high. We will have to see the concept of this, more of this video here. If this pin is 10, okay, if this pin is pin 10, you are now trying to read what is the reading in this, what is the voltage in this pin. Now, as you can see, the initial value for that is 0. 0. Meaning, this is false. The digitalRead is actually low or 0 volt. Is low equal to high? Therefore, is low equal to high? Then therefore, the output for this is false because they are not equal. If this is false, then the statements written inside this open and close curly brackets will not be run, will not be executed. Therefore, it will just go outside. If this is false, then it will not perform whatever it is inside our curly brackets. However, if this is pushed, as you can see here, it will now have 5 volts to our pin 10, making it high. If digitalRead is high, what is the condition now? It have 5 volts. So this is now high. Is high equal to high? Yes, then that is actually true. If that is now true, then it will perform the statements inside our curly bracket. Then it will digital write 13 high. So if you analyze this digital 13 high, you're actually turning on our default LED in our Arduino. However, as you can see here, it will turn on and still turn on and turn off. But the question now is, once it is high, it will remain high because there is no option that it will go low. It will never turn off already. It is already turned on. Now, the if-else statement is actually the same concept as our if statement with the condition that it has an else option. It has an else option. And what is that else? If you look into our example, a while back, if that is high and that is true, it will perform this operation here, this statement here, making our pin 13 to go high or turn on. However, if our digital read is turned off or it is now low, then what will it do? As you can see, like I said a while back, if that is false, it will go outside our, it will not perform the statements within our curly brackets. Now, therefore, if that is false, it will now perform whatever is inside our else statement. Meaning, if this is now low, it will now perform this statement, which is digital write 13 low, or it will now turn off our LED. The same concept, you have your turn on if it is pushed, and then off, it is turned off. 5 and 0 volt. The same concept, but you now have an option if this statement is false. The if-else statement is actually the same as the if-else statement, only that it has multiple conditions. Meaning, you can have not just one condition, but you can have multiple conditions, 1, 2, 3, 4, or as many conditions that your programming allows you to perform. So we have a recap. You have your digital read statement. We also learned about the control statement, the equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then the not equal to. You also have the and statement and the or statement. You also learned about the if statement, the if else statement, and the if else if else statement. Thus, students, that's for today. If you have questions or comments, list them down below and do not forget to subscribe. I hope you have learned something today. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Bye bye.